Hello, Igor Anderson here. Is this thing working? Perfect. Hmm? Look at that. AI on a next level. Um, so, I wanted to share something with you guys. My name is Igor Anderson. I'm 35 years old. I was recently let go by my company. I won't name any names, but I became collateral damage in the social construct that we live in today. And now it's April 10th. I was let go roughly a month ago on March 4th. And, let the bygones be bygones. I was taken care of. I was given a proper severance package. I provided value to the company when I was there. And in return, I was taken care of. So, that's all fair and square. But I thought that, do I just search for another job? Or, I've had 4 or 5 jobs in the past 4 or 5 years. Every single year, it seems like there's a pattern, there's a trend, right? And I just decided, let me try something different, right? And I decided to take a leap of faith, and so I started 2 companies in the past 30 days, from conceptualization to, you know, articles of origination, and all dealing with a million different pieces of paperwork and documents, and setting up bank accounts, and learning lots on the go, right? And I did it all by myself. I've had absolutely zero support from anyone except for my wife, who's been my rock. She has been there for me and my biggest cheerleader, and we're strong, and we're healthy, and we're happy, and we have a little baby girl. So I have 2 girls depending on me. With that being said, not looking for any pity. I'm just sharing my story as a chapter 1 here in my story. So here's where I'm at. I have started a consulting company. I have been with a technology company which focused on documentation of interiors and digitization of physical assets, and converting them into digital assets, which you can only imagine what you can do with all that data. That was an incredible journey. I went through an IPO, which, if you don't know what IPO is, it's initial public offering. And I was with them for better part of 4 years, so my shares were vested by the time I departed. So that was really a part in life where I had a chance to breathe and think of what I want to do when I grow up, type of thing. Then from there I went to a TPA, which is a third-party administrator. I kind of niched myself into the insurance market, the property and casualty side of things, and then with that, I learned, I extracted as much value as I could. Right, understanding how operations worked, understanding what type of relationships needed to be had in the industry, and how people ticked, and it was a very fruitful journey, very short one. I think I was only there for 6 months, until me and the CEO realized I was in the wrong shoes, and it's all right. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. As long as you come in at it, and you look at it from a perspective of, if I can contribute value here, I'm going to go somewhere else and contribute value, right? I want to be a value driver. That's my kind of new mantra. Is I don't want a job. I want to be a value driver. And then from there, I went to restoration franchise, a national restoration franchise, an incredible restoration franchise with an incredible team, and I kind of learned the ins and outs of operations there, and I learned what AI and API integrations were ongoing, and what needed to happen in order to be efficient. And in about a year's time, I realized that, again, I was never going to attain my full potential working for a company in the role that I was in. Then I was poached in the spring of 2024. Yes, I was poached by an ALE company, which is additional living expenses, and what that is basically on your insurance policy, right? If something happens to your home, your dwelling, you have a limit that allows you to basically take care of your family, and be placed in a like kind and quality environment, so that you can continue a sustainable life and focus on production and work and everything else while um, your dwelling is being repaired and restored. And so, with that, I came on board as the national account, national product director of sales. Lots of words. But unfortunately, roughly a month into me being there, my mentor decided to depart and decided that, he had to take care of some things, and you got to respect that, Everyone's got families, everyone's got issues, everyone's got selfish desire to preserve, their legacy. And, you can never hate on that. And so, with that being said, I went into paternity leave shortly after being brought on board. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to return from my paternity leave for 12 weeks. They gave me a full 12 weeks, which is incredible, right? I took the paycheck, I said, awesome, this is great. Came back around, I wanted to come back a month after, right? I just wanted to continue growing and learning. I wasn't able to do that. They didn't allow me to do that. That was my intention, but then I realized, look, if that's the game that needs to be played, I'll play the game. So played the game through November, December. And at that point, it's Q4, everyone's with their families, At that level, it's like, we're submitting next year's budgets, whatever else is going on. And, can't come January, there was a little bit of radio silence from the team. I felt very disassociated, and I wanted to, I wanted to connect, but I didn't know how to, right? I just felt kind of like I was on the island. So I kind of saw it coming, but, told myself, we'll get to a point where we eventually restructure my role, responsibilities, all of that. And, I never got to that point. But it is what it is. Bygones be bygones. You gotta keep moving. If you can't run, you gotta walk. If you can't walk, you gotta crawl. But you gotta keep moving. And so March 4th came along. So I was brought into a call with HR. Explained that this has nothing to do with performance. It was all to do with just budget cuts nationwide, and offered a reasonable severance. They took care of me. So, hey, thank you. I appreciate that. So I decided, as you can imagine, there was a lot of anger, a lot of grief, a lot of resentment on the front end. I am only 35, so I'm still growing, I'm still learning, and acquiring and attaining wisdom, I suppose, is the best way to frame it. So I decided that after speaking to a couple of my mentors, and in the future episodes, this is so cool, I will share who they are, if they grant me the permission to bring them into the conversation. But I've been very blessed with the guidance and the advice that I've been given. And so I decided to take a leap of faith. And at 35, I decided to start a couple of things. Growing up, I was in ballet for 11 years in Moscow, in Russia, where I was, just doing it day in, day out, 6 days a week. And then my mom put me into piano school at 7 years old. And so I did that from 7 to 10, roughly. And I was just so into it. I was so into it. I was just addicted to it, right? I was on the piano, like that was my video games, right? Piano. And I kind of shelved that, And we moved to America in 2004, and I started high school. It was a lot. English was a lot to learn. I didn't speak any English. And after that, I joined the U.S. Army for 8 years. That was a heck of a journey. We'll get into that also in the future. I'll explain to you my journey in the Army. That was a fun one. But eventually I got out, right, and I tried to transition into what tech sales, I guess, is an easy landing platform. Transitioning, and everyone needs salespeople, right? Especially charismatic ones that can connect. And So I went to work for Yelp for a little bit. So I sold advertising, and you know, from there I just kind of stuck around downtown Chicago and hopped around companies, just slowly, just making sure my baby monitor's volume is lowered. Um, Slowly but surely realizing and getting to this point that I'm at now, that ultimately the best approach to life is the authentic one. The best approach to life is the one with humility. The best approach to life is a humble one, and one where you listen more than you speak. And I've done a lot of listening. And so it's time I stood up. It's time I exercised my MBA that I attained during COVID, studying up until 2 and 3 in the morning on most nights while working full time, when I was at Matterport. And it's just the most liberating, exciting feeling. Once you go through the fear and you've realized that you can finally be your powerful, authentic self, you can see through everything. You can see through people like their glass castles. And I hope that the purpose of this message is eventually I want to get to a point where I can inspire the next generation and teach you guys about some of the things that I've discovered and developed, and self-taught myself about artificial intelligence, and how through our ability to communicate, just like a language, right? The English language, the Russian language, the query language of coding. There is a language that you need to know in order to effectively and efficiently communicate with AI. And when you can directly communicate with AI, you can also have AI talk to other AIs. And then you have entered the matrix. It is a cool and a liberating place to be in, and we'll get to all that. But for now, I just wanted to share my thoughts, and I wanted to put this out into the world, and just, whatever happens, happens. I've started my music production enterprise, which is it's Igor, but it's Translate, which is a tech nerd's way of using letters and numbers. So obviously Igor.com was taken, so my website is lowercase l, then G, then the number 0, then R.com. Still a 4-letter domain, which I thought was like, wow, this is available? Gotta go, right? So that's that. Been producing music for the better part of pretty much day one since they let me go. And it's been an around-the-clock addiction. I've been so buried in it that I have not, I've not looked up. That's how much I love it. The other portion is my consulting business, Anderson Consulting, which is I'm going to try and stick around the industry and really build as many bridges as I can to serve as human API, to attribute my perspective on things from a technological standpoint. So how InsurTech evolves and how we exercise AI, how do we attract new talent into the industry through the use of AI, something that's appealing to the new generation. And something that I took from Gary Vee, actually. I've been following him for the past few months, and it's just inspiration overload. I love it. Is that you got to focus on doing hard stuff. Stop cutting corners. All of these tools are designed to make you more efficient, but ultimately you can also fall into the trap of becoming lazy. Don't fall into that trap, right? So that's one of my messages for the day. The other message is, I truly want to show the younger generation that you do not have to be a virtuoso to put this stuff together. You just need to understand how to communicate with AI. And that's the purpose of my message. And I'm going to wrap up for now because now I'm rambling. It's been 15 minutes. I appreciate you guys for watching. This is just a little part of my journey, and I hope we can build a community and grow together. I'm happy to share the insights. I'm happy to build partnerships and show up in your podcasts and, hopefully help you grow as well. So thank you very much for watching. I will post this to YouTube at some point. I've got to figure out how to even transfer it from DJI platform, which this is operating on. It's pretty cool how it tracks you. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Igor out. Thank you so much.